Good morning, guys. So I am outside in the garden. I decided to come out here first because, well, not first, but first-ish. I do still have stuff to do inside the house, but it's supposed to rain today, and I definitely want to get these Brassicas in the ground. I've had them outside now for 2 or 3 days straight, full time, and so I think they're pretty good, hardened off and ready to come outside into the ground. And so I brought out my basket of seeds. I got my Brassicas, and I want to get them planted. I would love for me to get some seeds planted so that I don't have to water them in. But the most important thing is that I want to get these Brassicas in the ground. And so that's what I'm going to start with first. Some of the beds that I want to plant the Brassicas in have some weeds. So I will be weeding and planting at the same time. I did make my coffee, chocolate mocha drink espresso this morning. You guys saw that. So the first tray that I want to plant, these are Brussels sprouts, and so I want to get them in the ground. There's at least 6 or 7 of them here. So I'm going to be using this bed. I'm going to be fertilizing it with this neem seed meal. So I'm just going to sprinkle some over the bed, and so I'm just going to take some of this and mix it over the top. It smells exactly like if you've ever sprayed neem oil on your plants before as a bug repellent. That's exactly what this smells like. So it isn't a pleasant odor, which is nice because maybe the bugs will leave the plants in here alone. There are some seedlings in here because I guess I put in some seedlings that had zinnia seeds, because that's a zinnia seed, that's a zinnia sprout, that's a moldy potato, it looks like, maybe. And so I'm gonna leave the zinnia seed there. I didn't mean to knock that one out, but I'm gonna leave that zinnia seedling there. I mean, it will die with the frost, but I'll let it grow for now. I won't kill it. And I'm gonna spread this soil evenly out. All of these wood-sized beds are 3 by 6, which means it's 18 square feet, and I like to follow the square foot gardening method when it comes to planting things. So some of these Brussels sprouts have 2, like I know this is only 2 sections germinate, but each side has 2. And so I'm going to just take them out. And if they can break apart easily, then I am. This one just has 1. But if the ones that have 2 can break apart easily, then I will. If they cannot, if they seem like they'll break, then I am going to just take one off. Looks like a nice seedling. Very happy about that. And so I'm gonna plant this whole bed with Brussels sprouts, and then I'll go in, and if I have time or another day, I will put some root vegetables, maybe carrots, in between the Brussels sprouts. So like this one has 2 in it, and that one already has roots. I'm gonna try and plant that, and I think this one still has a good amount of roots, so it will survive, but I'm going to also try for this one to survive. It already started rerooting along the stem, and then it also has this, so I think it has a pretty good chance. These 2 seedlings are pretty close together, so I don't know if separating them, let's see. I just kind of pulled them in half, and so we'll see about these. So I have them all separated and laid out. There are 10 Brussels sprout plants here. I did separate all of them, and if some of them that are separated don't survive, that's fine, because I was going to, pinch them off anyway. I have a few of these broccoli rob plants, and this one looks like it already wants to go to seed right there. And so I don't want to take a whole bed planting these out if they're not going to make it. And so I'm actually going to plant them in this bed, because this bed, I just weeded it, but these grassy weeds just keep coming back no matter how many times I weeded or put mulch. And so I did put some squashes in here. This was a perennial flower bed. I know there's lilies planted in here, but I can't remember what else, but they died. And so the bed's just been sitting dormant. And so I did put these 3 squash in here a few weeks ago. But in the middle parts, I'm going to actually add these Brassicas just to maybe try to combat the weed growth in here. So I'm up here at these log raised beds, and I think this is where I'm going to plant the rest of my broccoli plants. I'm going to see if they can all fit in this bed, but if not, I will, or maybe I'll just plant them all in this bed if I take out those dwarf okra plants, and then those are just weeds. So I changed my mind. I'm actually going to plant them in this bed once I clear it out. These weeds in the pathway are super high. So I realized I wasn't recording, but I did get both of these beds weeded, and there's the pile right there. It's kind of hanging over into this plant. This is a hollyhock that I planted from seed. It was the only one that survived, and so it's been growing. I think it will bloom next season. I was going to move over the lilies that are planted in this bed and put them here, and I still may do that if I can find the bulb. So I just shoveled right next to the plant, and I was able to get the lily bulb up, and so I'm just going to replant it in this bed. So I'm just going to dig a new hole. And then stick this down in here. And since this is a perennial, I think it should be fine replanting it in a different spot, and that should come back. But we'll check on it as the season, well, I guess next season really, because winter's coming. Not that we get super cold in the winter. All right, I have all of the lilies moved over from out of this bed. Some of them I did break off the plant, the top growth, but I still was able to save the bulb, so it should be fine. And so those are the gaps that you see, but this whole bed is planted with lilies. The spacing I did for these broccoli plants was basically like a box. So I have 2 there, 2 there, and then 1 in the middle. And I did that going all the way down this bed, and I already amended it with the neem seed, and so I'm just going to get them planted. And I'm very happy that I have this many broccoli plants. I had, what is this, 1, 2, I had 4 more broccoli plants, but as you can see, they're very straggly, and so I didn't bother putting them inside that bed. But I'm not going to just let them sit here and die. I will try and plant them in a different location and see if they survive. But for this bed, I basically just chose the biggest and the best, and hopefully they all do good. So I decided to go ahead and water in these broccoli plants and the other broccoli plants that I already planted and the Brussels sprouts, because it is supposed to rain in about an hour, but I don't know how much it's supposed to rain, and this soil particularly was really dry, and so I wanted to go ahead and get them deeply watered to make sure that if it doesn't rain a lot that they won't shrivel up and die. I'm so happy. We're making such good progress. I'm back at the front with my Brassicas seedlings, and I'm going to show you. So this whole tray was my cauliflower tray. As you can see, this leaving is different. This is not cauliflower, and they did go to seed. So I don't know if different type of seedlings fell in here. I don't know what exactly it would be, but this definitely is not cauliflower, and it went to seed. But I do have one cauliflower plant in here that's good. All of these are cauliflower. So I have a pretty decent amount of, this is the snowball cauliflower. I am going to give a tray to Taqueshia at our Freedom Song. I'm about to meet her, and I'll give her a tray, but then the rest of these will be planted in my garden. In spring, I tried to plant bok choy and pak choy, and they were the first one to go to seed, and I've planted 3 of each one again, and they are going to seed. They were the first cabbages to go to seed. So we'll take that one out. We're not going to plant this one. So I think that leaves us with 4. Actually, the ones that all went to seed was the bok choy. We had 1 pak choy white that went to seed, but the other 4 are still hanging in there. So we'll try and plant these, and fingers crossed that they don't bolt on me. It's much later in the day. It got really hot outside, and I took a break, met Taqueshia for lunch, came back, and it was just super hot. So it is officially, I don't know if you could tell how gray it is, but I decided I would come outside and get some more planted and end this video, because tomorrow the high is only about 77 and it's supposed to be raining all day tomorrow. I have this tray, so back here I have I don't know how you say that, but it is a leafy cabbage, and then this one is Savoy, but there is, I guess, the same leafy cabbage that fell over here, and then in this one there's like, so there's 3 of these, but I want to take these 2 cabbages and plant them in between these broccoli bed, and so I want to plant them in the middles to complete the kind of spacing that I'm going with, and then I'll use the other 3, the Savoy cabbage, somewhere else. I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for taking time and spending time with me this morning all the way now until the evening. I appreciate it so much. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on this bed, but I wanted to go ahead and sign off, and I'll probably continue to plant until it starts actually raining. But the rest I think will be in a time lapse, just so I can get the rest of this stuff planted. Right now I have the bok choys in here, as well as the Savoy cabbage. And I did have a couple that were stuck together, and I separated them. I definitely felt some drops, and so I know these are my last few minutes. So enjoy the time lapse.